What's up everybody? Long time no see. But as you can see in the background, a lot of things have changed. There's the 4G63 out of the EVO up on the engine stand. So yes, we have been successful. However, in this video, I am just going to show you how to unhook the wiring harness and some of the lines and accessories that are in this car that have to be removed to drop the engine. And you actually, in this video, you're not going to see the engine come out. I'm actually going to split this video into two parts because if I would have kept it the normal length, it would have been like a 40-45 minute long video, and I just know that not everybody wants to sit there and watch that long of a video, so we're going to kind of break it up so you guys can watch an episode, maybe come back later and watch another episode. That way you don't feel like you have to sit there the whole time and watch everything. You kind of break it up in between the episodes. So I want to remind everybody I do have the Instagram now, and you can follow me on that. The link will be in the description. Also, if you're new and you're curious when the videos, you want to see them right away when they come out, just remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll notify you immediately when my videos come out. The goal originally was every Friday, but it's just not going to happen that way. I'm sorry about that. It's probably going to be once every 2 weeks or so by the time I get all the footage, all the parts, all that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry about the delay between everything, but I think I kind of underestimated how much work this was going to be, the editing and filming on top of, actually taking the car apart, which is a big job by itself. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the positive comments. And I really appreciate you guys, just even taking the time to watch my videos. That's enough rambling for now. So let's get to work and let's get this harness out. So we're at the point now where we need to disconnect the wiring harness, all the extra hoses, lines, all that kind of thing, because we're going to go ahead and drop this engine transmission together. And we're going to drop it straight down through the car. I have a engine hoist with the leveler and a little dolly with some wheels on it, and we're going to drop the engine transmission straight down onto that dolly wheel. So before we do any of that stuff, we got to just go ahead and disconnect all these wires and stuff like that. I'm going to take the starter out because that really needs cleaned up. It's covered in oil. Disconnect the power steering pump, so we'll have to take the accessory belt off for that. Not a big deal at all. And also taking the accessory belt off will give us access to the air conditioning condenser, or excuse me, you guys know what I'm talking about, the air conditioning pump, the thing that pumps the coolant around in your line. So we'll take that off. We're not going to disconnect that because the coolant is still inside of the lines and I don't want to leak it out. So what I'm going to do is just kind of zip tie that off to the side or something like that, and we'll just leave that in the car itself, and that should get us to the point where we can drop the engine. Hopefully we'll be able to do that by this evening or maybe early tomorrow. So let's get started by taking this belt off. All right, if you're looking at the main, if you're looking at the side with the belt, your accessory belt, you got this big dampener right here, and right next to it you have this piece. This is the tensioner, and it just takes a 3/4 inch drive ratchet with an extension on there, and what you do is just insert that and you pull up on it and it loosens the belt for you. Voila! So this AC compressor, that's the word I was looking for earlier, it's held on by 3 bolts, 3 14mm bolts. I went ahead and broke them loose. So you got one on the bottom there, one right above it, and then to the left of that top one you have one kind of buried in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. It's kind of a hard angle to put the camera at, but I'll try to get you guys to see it the best you can. So I messed up. There's actually 4 of those 14mm bolts, but one is underneath the compressor, so you can't reach it. So instead what you have to do is take out, there's
4 12mm bolts, 2 on the top here, which I'll take out right now, or take almost all the way out, and then there's 2 on the bottom, and I'll switch the camera around for that. So here's your 2 on the bottom. Very easy to get to. So the compressor is too big to fit past the manifold, and I'm not quite ready to pull the manifold off yet. So what I did was I just put the 2 top bolts back into it, just got them started into the block, so they'll support it instead of the line supporting it. And when it comes time, when we get this manifold off, it'll be real easy. Just pull those out real quick, slip it up by, no problem. That'll be further on. So now we're just gonna start working on the loom from this side, and it looks like the first thing we got is this dirty old starter that got oil dumped all over it, and looks like it's just got 2 wires. We'll follow it up, and there's some stuff over here in the transmission. Obviously we got the speed sensor and some other stuff, and we'll just keep working around here on the MyVec controller. We have looks like 2 wires. We got a ground and a connector, and that's probably the same over on the other cam, so we'll just kind of work it as we go. But first, we'll just pull these wires off the starter, and get them out of the way. So under the boot, there's a 12mm nut. Just take it off and pull the wire off, put your nut back on, and then there's just a clip-on wire right next to it. Easy enough, just unclip that, no problem. So you can see, I put this little piece of masking tape labeling what the wire goes to. And I'll be the first one to admit, I'm not going to be able to remember where all these wires hook up to. So just as an extra step, it doesn't take that long, and I've done this before on other projects, has helped out a lot. Is I label a lot of the wires and the majority of the wires on where they go, and that makes it so much easier when you put stuff back together. And I forgot to mention before I actually started recording all this, I took my camera and I did about I took about 5 minutes with the light, and I just kind of shined it all over the engine bay while everything was still hooked up, in case I needed to go back and reference it later. So we're just going to keep working on this. I'm going to pull this wire up, take our pliers here and disconnect those off of their mounting brackets, and I'll be labeling them as we go. So for right now, this may be more of a time lapse part of the video because it's not much to show. If I run into something that I think is odd, or maybe a little tip or something, I'll let you know. Alright, so the harness is pulled back. It's pretty time consuming. It's not hard work, it's just takes a while. You gotta trace all the wires all over the engine, and sometimes the connectors get a little bit stuck and they take a little extra finagling to get them off. But all in all, it's not that bad. It's just kind of annoying, and I personally hate disconnecting wiring harnesses, but it's up and out of the way. We've got everything out of the way that we need out of the way for that part of the job. But we still need to disconnect the throttle cable, which you see there, and we have these 2 lines. These are the lines that go to your heater core, so you can have heat in your car. And if you look right there, that line that's going into the manifold there with the nut on, with the bolt on the top and the nut on the bottom, that is our fuel line. And after that, I don't believe there's too much else holding us up other than, I'll have to pull this reservoir off from this power steering pump, or pull the whole pump up. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. We're getting close, guys. It's close to getting this motor out of here, so that's pretty exciting. I just want to get it done. It's cold today. Look out there on the Honda. We got lots of snow. Well, we didn't get lots of snow. We got some snow last night, but snow here where I live is kind of rare, so it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and we'll start off by, let's get this throttle cable out of the way here. One thing I wanted to say was some of those connectors have these little clips that go through. And I don't know if it's just me or if there's some kind of special tool, but the only way I've been able to figure out how to get them off is to basically take a straight blade screwdriver and just kind of pry on it, and then it pops out of there, but it doesn't stay in. And I'm not sure how they go back in, if you're supposed to put them in before you connect them back up. So there's more to come on that, I'm not sure, but make sure that you don't lose these, because I don't even know, how hard it is to find replacements. So make sure you bag those up. In order to take this throttle cable off, very easy. Basically, we have this bracket right here on the intake manifold, and those two marks, I put those on there with the Sharpie. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I figure it doesn't hurt to put them on there. That way it's easier to line it back up when we go to put it on. We'll just take those bolts loose, and then you can see once we take those loose, that'll give us some slack in the line, and we'll be able to release the throttle off of this, or the cable off of this butterfly mechanism right here. And after we get that off, we have just another 10mm bolt with a bracket. Very simple, easy to do. And just like that, our bolts are out. So now it's kind of hard to see on camera here. Let me get a better angle. So now we have slack in this cable. So we simply pull it up like that and slide it out, and there you go. Throttle cable is disconnected, so we just kind of pull it out like that. Boom. Now all that's left is just take this little bracket right here off, and I'll do that off camera. That's just a 10mm bolt, nothing special. We're ready to pull this fuel rail out of here, or well, not the fuel rail, but the fuel line. So this is the part where I tell you that I'm an idiot and I forgot to depressurize the line. So I know when I go to crack this, there's still some pressure in here, I'm sure, and it's probably gonna leak a little bit of gas all over. So I'll clean that up, but they say in the book the best thing to do is before you start this job to pull the circuit for the fuel pump, I believe, or the fuse for the fuel pump, and you turn on the car and you let it run until it dies, and that'll make sure that you have no pressure in the line. But I didn't do that, so there's a little pressure build up, so I'll just put on some safety glasses. And then the top line there, that's a return, so that's really easy. Just use your pliers, disconnect that connector, slide it off, slide it out of the way, no problem. And let's go ahead and take this off. I think there's probably two 10mm bolts like everything else on this car and every Japanese car. Alright, so not that bad. I thought there would be a little bit more pressure in there, but not very much at all. I guess the car's been sitting since October, so it's been about 3 months. I'm sure the pressure is bled down by now. We got the fuel lines all squared away, so now we have to take a look at, if you look right here, we have this line that goes into the brake booster. That is a vacuum line. That has to be disconnected, and on your car, not on mine, but on your car, if you're doing this job, there's a ground that needs to be disconnected that runs to the back of the intake manifold. But as you can see, mine broke off, so that's something else we'll have to fix, but we don't have to worry about taking that out for now. And after that, we have some really easy, these are just hose clamps, but we got those two lines, those two coolant lines that go into the heater core. Then I think we're pretty much done, guys. I mean, at least I'm going to be done for the day, and I'll probably pick up tomorrow and record some more, but that's my goal for today, is just get those hooked. So I got the coolant lines disconnected. I didn't show the second part of the second one because it was just so stuck on there. That one, you guys, if you go to disconnect it, it's gonna take some work. What I did was I threw some vice grips on the clamp to hold the clamp open, and I just took a flathead screwdriver and just pried on it. I just pulled like crazy. So I gotta take a look at that line when we get this engine out of there and make sure I didn't split anything, so I might have to replace it, but hopefully we didn't. But I would say that probably at least 85% of what we need to take off is out now. Basically all we have left is this reservoir right here and the cooler, the engine oil cooler, which probably just leave that on, because disconnecting that, I mean, I don't really want to, but I can. I think it'd just be easier to keep it connected, less of a chance of it leaking when I go to put it back on. So I'm just gonna take a break for now. I don't know if this is gonna be the end of the video or not. If it is, we'll see you in the next episode, and the engine will definitely be out by then. If not, I'll just keep going. All right, if you made it this far, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And the next episode will be the second half of this, and by the end of the next episode, I promise that the engine will be out of the car, engine and trans. So there's some problems I ran into, and I'll be sure to highlight those in the video. So thanks again, and if you're new here and you're interested in this build, maybe hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit that dislike, but please let me know in the comments what you think I should have done differently so I can change it for next time. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.